Hey everybody, Brian Von Vier here, back at it again, ready to give you some random ideas that you can put into your campaign right now. And if you have a random idea you would like to share, please do so down in the comments below. Bork Nork, the Science Orc, teaches kids about science and bombs. Bork Nork, the Science Orc. Bork Nork, the Science Orc. Bork, 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 bork. I hate myself for that. An imp who misunderstood his orders and regularly raids fish markets looking to steal souls. The four gnome towns. Northrington to the south, Sothersby to the east, Westerville to the north, Easterwood to the west. They used to be one main town called Centralese, but because they're gnomes, they got hella bored and decided to fuck with travelers. Going to one town in search of a plot device results in one of them saying, "Oh, I'm afraid you got the wrong info, laddie. You're not looking for Easterwood. Due west of here, methinks." Upon reaching there, an identical set of gnomes in an identical town responds in the same way. "Oh, I'm so sorry, laddie, but I do think you've been proper hustled, you have. You're looking for Sothersby. It's due east of here." This will continue until the adventuring party investigates enough to discover a sophisticated conspiracy to conceal a hidden network of teleportation circles all set up in the individual towns, established for the sole purpose of, well, just f***ing with adventurers because the gnomes were really that bored. Successfully cracking the mystery rewards the party with whatever or however the gnomes seek to bribe the party so they don't tell anyone else and ruin their fun. All shopkeepers are the same guy named Pete. Pete is a good guy. He knows everyone really well. Pete also gives goofy quests in exchange for discounts. For example, go out and tally how many people are named Jennifer in this town. Could you find where my hamster went? He's somewhere in the store. Read me a bedtime story tonight, and I'll give you a 10% discount tomorrow. I accidentally ended up using this in my campaign. First guy was a corporate suit who ended up being a Patrick Warburton impression. Then they met with the first shopkeeper, who I struggled to find a voice for, and the impression just accidentally came out. One of my players made a joke about how hilarious it would be if Patrick Warburton was just this universe's Nurse Joy, and it just stuck. It's a family of 40 brothers. They all just got married and have a bad habit of all being forced to work during their honeymoons. In our campaign, every inn and shopkeep we've met looks the same but has a different name. But all the names rhyme. We haven't worked out what's going on yet, but it's a fun running joke. So far, we've met Harry, Larry, Gary, Barry, Derry, Zary. What about Jerry? We don't have a Jerry in there yet? I'm scared. In one of our campaigns, our DM couldn't think up a name for the dwarf shopkeeper we encountered, so he just shouted in his best Scottish accent, oh, here we go, "My name's Dwarf, the Dwarf!" The next shopkeeper we met was Dwarf's brother. "Dwarf the Dwarf! We have Dwarf the Dwarf! Dwarf the Dwarf! We're gonna diggy hole right up your butthole! Dwarfy dwarfy time!" A cabbage merchant whose cart is always somehow caught in the crossfire and destroyed whenever there's a fight or otherwise chaotic interaction. My cabbages! In this case, we'll also need a secret tunnel and a secret service dedicated to convincing players there is no war in Ba Sing Sea. Secret tunnel! Secret tunnel! Secret tunnel! Orc Elvis. Aren't those just Get the Yankee? Looks like Orc Elvis, you know, with the slicked hair and the snake hips. Two bards debating on who is better. They'll continuously pop up in different towns trying to outplay one another, and always playing the dueling banjo song no matter what instrument they play. Those guys from Red Dead Redemption 2 who make you kick 'em in the nuts. That's exactly what I'm referencing, ha-ha! A magic 8-ball that actually works, but only once per day. What if it always gave an answer, but it's only accurate once per day and there's no telling which time is the correct answer on any given day? That's a really good idea, and it helps give flexibility to a DM in case it predicts something too good or really bad for the party. You can tell the future with an 8-ball that is always wrong just as well as an 8-ball that is always right. So we have to make sure the phrasing of how it works emphasizes random results with one guaranteed true answer versus one accurate result and other wrong results. I like it, except there's no way to know how many questions it would be asked during the day. So if the first question is wrong, but it doesn't get any more questions that day, then that would be hard to DM. Maybe just a hidden DM roll for accuracy? Aha! That's why it's completely random. Which one of them is correct, and the GM would roll randomly behind the screen and not say if it was correct or not, but the first one the GM gets that is randomly correct, everything after that for the rest of the day will be incorrect, and there will be no one to notice as to which one was accurate. And that's not to say, by the way, that it will be wholly inaccurate for the rest of the time, because there still is a random chance that it could give the correct answer to a yes or no question just by happenstance. It would only have a guaranteed correct answer once per day. So, if you could use some other form of divination to determine which answer the 8-ball would give correctly, then you could use the 8-ball to ask your actual question. It's kind of a roundabout way to get there, but I think the silliness of it is the point. An airship pirate faction composed of only kobold wizards. Druids that have domesticated fireflies and have bred chihuahua-sized fireflies. A dungeon full of mimics that are actually the babies of a giant mimic, which is the dungeon itself. A secretly very advanced society of kobolds hidden away somewhere kind of like Wakanda. A troll who just wants someone to celebrate his birthday with him. My players loved this brief roadside encounter. Come on, what happened? Share more. Here's what's in the guy's notes. You spot a troll sitting on a stump just off the side of the road. He is slouching and staring at his feet, looking kind of grumpy. Strangely, he has a colorful, pointed paper hat on his head. When he sees you, a tiny, hopeful smile crosses his face briefly before being replaced by the same unpleasant frown. He points to his hat, grunts something in Trollish, then picks up a huge tray of cookies, miniature cakes, and miniature pies, all somewhat misshapen. He holds the tray in your direction. He continues grunting and gesturing. If players don't get it, he throws the pastries at them. If they say something about birthday, he grins hugely and throws a handful of plain paper confetti above their heads. If they attack, he fights back with non-lethal damage and backs away as if ready to flee. In the moment I added that, from a distance, they could also see a vaguely humanoid-shaped lump of clothes about the size of a small halfling at the base of a nearby tree, and next to it was a stick wrapped in bright red cloth. They rolled high enough to determine that it was not a body, living or dead, but they still weren't sure what it was until the troll picked it up and mimed it, hitting it with a stick. It was a piñata that the troll had filled with pretty rocks, some copper and silver coins, and a few common gems. The players figured it out, had a little roadside party with the troll, and got to keep the valuables from the piñata. I love this so much, and so does the narrator, me, Brian. And I just hope beyond hope that he got his birthday that he always dreamed of. I don't know why exactly, but this got me. Oh, he did, by the way. He got the birthday he wanted. He's definitely going to make a cameo appearance in the epilogue when the campaign ends in a few months. I almost cried reading that, by the way, to anyone listening, because one, I've never really had a good birthday. I've had one maybe like 3 times in my life outside of my family always giving me stuff for my birthday and saying happy birthday, but I've always been kind of alone, so I feel like that little troll who just kind of wants to give out birthday cakes and stuff, and I think a lot of us have been there, so to anyone out there whose birthday is today, happy birthday. The god of jokes dislikes bad jokes so much that if someone makes a bad joke, they take 1d4 psychic damage. He is opposed by the god of fathers, who loves puns so much, his clerics are the godfathers. Jesus Christ. Knock, knock! Who's there? Hike? Haiku, a deal have I for you. Don't refuse, grow strong in faith. The Godfather rings twice. A tavern run by a family of halflings who got a wizard to rig the front door with a reduced spell for anyone taller than 4 feet, which lasts until they leave, so that everyone is short when they enter the tavern. Oh, that's actually so cool. A used bag of holding functions the same as a regular bag of holding, but everything you pull out is covered in glitter. Oh god. Good luck ever being stealthy again, though you could follow the glitter out if you're ever lost in a maze. Can we also have a gym bag of holding variation where everything comes out smelling slightly funky and in need of a wash? Ugh. A lobster princess was cursed by an evil mermaid witch. She now wanders the land trapped in a human body, but with large lobster claws instead of hands. She yearns to become a lobster again and return to the ocean. A naked mole rat named Davis who thinks he's a goblin. He's 52 years old and has a great pension plan, don't you know? He'll talk your ear off about it given the chance. Very inclined to not realize the party isn't fellow goblins, by the way. Now, he thinks orcs are goblins, goblins are gnomes. What's most interesting about Davis, however, is that he is a talking mole rat. The bartender they piss off isn't actually a level 20 fighter that retired or a vampire. He was just a drunken commoner cursed with immortality after pissing off a fae. Very well then, I curse you to watch everyone and everything you will ever love or care about die. He tried to go the hermit route to break the curse, but sadly humans are inherently social creatures and he wound up talking to the moon and stars to find even a minuscule amount of comfort. There is a region of land that is turning into a desert at a really high rate, the west coast of the United States. With each passing year, a 100 square kilometer area adjacent to the desert becomes arid. This is caused by an ancient force that was sealed in the most remote area of that desert, which has awakened and is gathering forces to break the seal. It also is worshipped by a cult that is getting stronger the more land it drains. Another region of land is covered in mist, which strangely comes out of a huge fracture in that land that goes deep down. It's impossible to see more than 15 feet away in the mist unless you create a special lamp that is powered by the soul of a magical creature, such as a fairy lamp. The lamp, made with the soul of a really powerful creature, such as an ancient dragon, can illuminate an entire city. Sometimes benevolent creatures spontaneously offer their soul as a gift to someone when they die. This usually happens when the creature made a pact of some sort, or in the event that they have a bond of some kind with a mortal and they decide they will protect them even after death. Lastly, a more lighthearted one. One of the more popular games among nobles' parties is a drinking game where you need to try to resist the effects of different shots of various magical alcoholic spirits. Some of these cause the drinker to float, others cause the drinker to become unable to tell a lie. Others change the drinker's skin color. One causes the drinker to form bubbles instead of words when they try to speak. You can get a lot of creativity with this, and you can even turn this into a game, opposed con checks for every shot with varying DCs and so on. The first one that fails 3 checks will lose. If both fail, it doesn't count. Now the real fun comes when the challenge is over. The effects of the drink will last way longer than the challenge itself. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and come on, let us know some random ideas that we could just use in any old little campaign out there. And here's my random one for you. The players find, quite literally, a pebble in the middle of the road that is glowing blue. What's the pebble do? That's up to you. Send them on a giant epic quest, and if you actually use this, let me know in the comments below, and we might make a video out of the little blue pebble that could. See you later, everybody. Love you. Bye for now.